Two men, two battles, one ends in tragedy and the other in victory. Which will you be? Welcome to the Daily Devo. We are in chapter 31. Finally, the final chapter and the conclusion of Saul's life. So let's begin by just reading verse 1. It states, "Now the Philistines were fighting against Israel, and the men of Israel fled before the Philistines and fell slain on Mount Gilboa." In the dramatic conclusion of 1 Samuel, two men, David and Saul, are vivid examples of two very different men, contrasting men. Their stories unfold actually simultaneously, but in stark contrast to each other. So first, on the southern front, miles away, David is in Ziklag. He finds his city devastated by the Amalekites. He strengthens himself in the Lord, if you remember that, rallies his men, and then goes and rescues captives, their families, turning defeat into triumph. Meanwhile, to the north, Saul faces the Philistines in the Jezreel Valley. Isolated from God, riddled with fear and desperate, Saul seeks guidance from a forbidden medium, a witch at Endor. His final act is tragic, taking his own life on a sword on Mount Gilboa, and his army crumbles. Like I said, two men with two very different outcomes. David's end in chapter 30 is marked by victory and generosity. After defeating the Amalekites, he shares the plunder with his men and the elders of Judah, fostering unity and gratitude. His reliance on God leads to restoration and blessing. Saul's end right here in chapter 31 is dramatically different. His life ends in despair, a tragic culmination of years of rebellion, disobedience, and rejection of God's will. His defeat marks really the collapse of his entire legacy. Both men faced battles, but their circumstances didn't dictate the outcomes. Their hearts did. You see, David's heart was surrendered to God, leading him to fight with divine strength. Saul's heart had long drifted from God, leading to his tragic downfall. Thus we learn, circumstances test us, but our hearts will define us. Circumstances will test you, but your heart will define you. You know, life, I really believe, presents us all with battles every single day. The question isn't if we'll face them, because you will, but it's how we will fight them and with whom. Will you face them like David did, battling with the Lord, finding victory and generosity even in adversity? Or will you face them like Saul, struggling in your strength, isolated and ending in defeat? My suggestion is this, is to live in chapter 30, chapter 31. I love you guys. I pray this has blessed you. If it has, share it with someone else, and I'll see you right back here again.